Hey, Dr. Troy Dukowitz here of the Patient Education Retention System, where our focus is to increase patient certainty so we can increase patient retention. Here we are talking about this month's overview of the tips of the week that we're going to focus on to help to increase that patient certainty. Now, this is the month of August. So with the month of August, we're looking at 4 Mondays this month. So our focus is going to be in 4 particular areas that have to do with kids getting adjusted and the flu season. Why? Well, number one, if you're in the United States, we know that we're starting to lean towards, whether you're in August or September going back to school, it's back to school time. And realistically, anywhere in the world, it could be back to school time. And of course, the ever popular flu season. Now, if you don't have flu season right now, that's okay. It's still an opportunity for you to be able to talk about the immune system. It's still an opportunity for you to talk about people being healthier. So the beauty of these tips is they're versatile no matter what theme that you have. Now, in some offices and businesses, they do literally decorate their office. We've done this, and we actually do this. We decorate our office around a back to school theme. And we're also going to have a display that'll be set up this month as well, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get started. Week 1. Week 1's tip is a kid's testimonial. Now, if you don't take care of kids in your practice, or you don't take care of families in your practice, and you're more of a functional practice, or you're more of a athletic type practice, no worries, man. Get the key word, testimonial. Now, we're doing a kid's testimonial, and this is a child in our office who had ADD, ADHD, was on all kinds of different meds. And the reason we're doing this, number one, is because it's strategically placed, because we're going into the school year. So it's a great opportunity to be able to talk to parents about this. A lot of parents take their kids off of medications over the summer. They get them back on when they go back to school. So it's a great opportunity for us to stimulate this conversation one last time before kids get back to school. Number two, it's a phenomenal opportunity for you to talk to parents and adults about kids getting adjusted. This is a great testimonial because it opens the door. Even if you have somebody who comes in and their kids are in their 20s or 30s and they've already moved out and they have their own families, well, it opens up conversations that could help their own families, but it opens up conversations as to what chiropractic is capable of. And that's the point that you have to understand. Now, a key point in the testimonial is always to have contrast, where they were to where they are. Okay? We talk about old brain communication. It needs contrast. The old brain needs contrast in order to stay engaged. So we want to have where they are to where they've gone. It draws a real life picture for the reader. So we're going to have testimonial week number 1. You will receive a template for a testimonial. You can use the one I send you, or bam, you can just drop yours in there, throw your logo at the bottom, and we're ready to go. It's that easy. That's week number 1. Week number 2 is a novelty week. This one I'm really excited about. Now, this is backpacks and purses. Now, here's the thing. Often in chiropractic, we talk about backpack safety. I'm over 20 years in chiropractic, and I have yet to see a backpack attack anyone. I haven't seen it, so I don't know that it actually exists. But I do know that people do carry backpacks with the one shoulder. I do know that they carry them with the slouched forward or hanging forward. I do know that kids' backpacks weigh more now than ever before. I believe I read the poundage goes from an average of 18 up to like 60 pounds. So it's absolutely insane. And we know that they get heavier as well. So we know that backpacks are an issue with kids. And the key is to show parents how this posture affects the nerve system. So this is a novelty item 1, so you can start thinking ahead, which is to grab a backpack and to be able to put some books in it, and to grab a purse and to be able to put some things in it to make it a little bit heavier so that people can understand what it's like. And then this way, when patients come in on that particular week, you can throw a backpack over somebody. Now, don't do it if they have a hot low back or a hot back or anything like that, but you can have somebody carry a backpack, pick up and hold the backpack, take the purse. For women, hell, you can take their purses and say, you know, what happens when you do this, and show them how they're shifting. What they start to show you is an outward manifestation of the beginning levels or the beginning creation of subluxation in their patterns. And so this gives you an opportunity to go down a completely different path using nerve charts. We can do an actual solid tip here, which we're going to give you a tip, just a short tip about posture and how it affects the nerve system. But the experiential part is where it's at, is to be able to have this real life conversation with your patients. We're going to talk about this when we deliver week 2's tip, which is all about the backpack. And again, we're not going to talk about backpack safety unless you do have reports of where you live, backpacks are attacking people. Other than that, we're going to stay away from it. We're going to focus more on posture and how posture is a manifestation of subluxation. Week number 3. Week number 3, we're going to actually talk about flu season, and we're going to talk about not just, this isn't about bashing vaccinations, because there is something that we do here which is really fun. This is about talking to people about the immune system and about the fact that when they get adjusted, it helps to stimulate the immune system. You've probably seen the studies before, in excess of 200% when you're getting adjusted. So we're going to talk to them about the positivity about what they're doing in getting adjusted and why it's important to stay on track with their adjustments. This also opens the door to talk about stress, because what do we know? As stress goes up, immune system function goes down. So it's going to be a great week to be talking about the power of the adjustment. Now, what we also do in our office, and you'll see a picture of this, we actually put up a display, an actual display of what's in vaccines. So we've been able to buy like an antifreeze container that's empty and keep the cap on it, make sure nobody gets into it. We have a monkey, we have all this stuff. You'll see the picture, and we have all this stuff on a table. And the only objective is not to bash vaccines. The only objective is to educate our patients about what's actually in them, to question, so that they start questioning the validity of what they're hearing. If we bash, and we're bashing against somebody who's been brought up in that model, they're not going to be open to questioning it. But if we're simply trying to offer up information that opens up questions and dialogues, we can now have a real conversation around this. And some people are going to go along and some people aren't. But what I know is that our job, doctor in Latin means teacher, so I want to educate them so they can make the best decision possible in their lives. If they don't have both pieces of information, they're making it based on one avenue. We open up a door, another avenue, and they can choose what they do. So we don't hold this against people in our office. If they make the decision, they make the decision. Are we doing our job to educate them and empower them, though, to make what you and I would consider the right decision? So week 3 is going to be all about the immune system and the adjustments and flu season and how it's important to keep getting adjusted. If you're getting adjusted, hey, guess what? Most likely you can avoid that flu shot. And let's look at what's in that sucker anyway. Okay, week number 4, this is going to be a research study, and it's probably one of the most popular in chiropractic over the years, because we've seen it over and over again on slides at presentations. I've used it, and I'm sure you've used it, which is the MRI study. And so it's by Dr. Christopher Kent, a few other docs, that they actually put this person into an MRI unit, functional MRI unit, had this woman move her foot. The first picture shows the brain activity when she was moving her foot, took her out, adjusted the atlas, put her back in, did the functional MRI again, and the brain patterns were completely shifted. So it helps us to talk about how chiropractic affects brain function. Oh, by the way, that ties right back into the testimonial that we did in the first week. So there you have it. Those are the 4 weeks of communication we have set up for this particular month. Now, how about the 2 bonus tips? When we look at the bonus tips, number 1 that's a little bit more fun. Hey, it's back to school time, so we're going to do a quiz. If you want to, you can do the quiz. Some of these don't resonate with you, do a quiz. And the quiz is simple. We're recommending subluxation. Ask your patients what a subluxation is. Everyone who comes in gets the little card that you'll see down below. They take that card, they write down what they believe subluxation is, they bring it into the adjustment room with their adjustment, or they just carry the card so you can talk about it. But when they're done, they hand it at the front desk. At the end of the week, we're going to take all of these answers, put them together. We're going to take the ones that were right, put them into a hat, draw one out, and there's a prize for the person who got the right answer on what subluxation is. We will then put those up on a bulletin board or somewhere in the office for people to read the answers that people came up with for what subluxation is. This is a really fun thing to do. It's a great opportunity to stimulate conversation around subluxation. So there's bonus tip number 1. Number 2 is poster week. So basically what we want to do here is put focus into a poster in the office. Typically, I love focusing on nerve charts. And basically, here's what's going to happen. This is very simple. It's poster week. So what I'm going to focus on is when I'm adjusting a patient, when they hop up, I'm going to share with them what we adjusted today, where those nerves go to and how it affects their overall function in their body. In other words, what would happen if there's interference in this area? Now, you're going to be Socratic, you're going to ask them questions, but you're going to talk to them about how this impacts the entire nerve system. So this is, and look, I know this and you know this, the nerve system isn't like a plug and an outlet, right? Point A doesn't go to point B and that's it. I just have to flip that switch and life is good. But the point is to help them to understand how the nerves affect everything in the body, how the nerves do come from the spinal cord. There is a connection and communication goes back to the brain back down to the body. So this opens up that communication process as well. If you have nerve chart pads that you can tear off and give to a patient, you'll use those. Otherwise, we make this very simple. You're using a poster that's in your office. So there's your 2 bonus tips. So, let's do a quick rundown. Week number 1 is Testimonial Week. Week number 2 is Posture Week, where we're really going to focus on backpacks, but we always throw purses into the mix. Why? Because we know most women have purses, and most women's purses are too heavy. You guessed it, that's right. Week number 3, the tip of the week. It's going to be an actual tip of the week on the immune system and the flu shot. So we're really going to focus on what people can do to keep the immune system strong. Chiropractic and get it adjusted is at the forefront of that. That is the primary foundational thing that they can be doing. Week number 4, another tip of the week. This time we're doing the MRI study. The MRI study is going to talk about improved efficiency of brain function, which is perfect timing because we're talking about kids going back to school and the importance of them being clear when they're sitting in a classroom. The 2 bonus tips were 1, fun. Do a quiz. We're recommending that you do the quiz on subluxation. What is a subluxation? Or number 2, you might choose poster week. We're going to focus on one particular poster in the office. Typically, I like to focus on a nerve chart. There's so many conversations that you can have when you adjust somebody and then turn around and talk to them about what you adjusted in regards to that nerve chart. So, there you have it. This is your overview for the month of August. Have a discussion about it. Let's get clear on how we're going to proceed moving forward, and then next week you will receive your first tip for the month of August so that we can start implementing that first week. Have an absolutely great day. We'll see you next time.